I have a story to tell you about our trip to San Diego. It's quite an adventure. We got on a plane in Sioux Falls, flew to Denver, where we had a 4-hour layover. We got into San Diego at 12 o'clock their time, 2 o'clock our body time. Ugh. It was time to step out of our comfort zone and do something we had never done before. Ever. I got out my handy-dandy smartphone and ordered an Uber. Now, before I left South Dakota, Jack asked me, "Mom, how will you get from place to place when you're in San Diego?" I told him that we would be taking an Uber, and he said, "I don't think so. You know that people died doing that last year." Well, I guess I had forgotten about that, but I had places I wanted to see. Sorta. I know I look like a deer, but I'm more of a chicken. I'm scared of my own shadow. Back to the story. So I ordered up an Uber and waited. And waited. And waited. Finally he came in the vehicle that he did not say that he was going to be in. So now I was nervous. So we got in. And I don't know the Uber rules. There's rules. And I don't know them. Like, do we talk to this guy? Does he want us to talk to him? I don't know. So we start to chit-chat as we drive aimlessly trying to get out of the airport. Shouldn't he know how to do that? Finally, I suggest to follow the exit signs. I mean, I'm not an Uber driver, but... So we get out of the airport parking lot finally, and we're on our way to our motel. Did I mention it was late? So he tells us, "You're my first ride ever." And I was like, "Oh, you're our first Uber driver ever!" Then he tells us, "I don't want to be doing this. I don't want to come to the airport. It's not my thing." My hope was that he at least wanted to get us to our motel. Then he wouldn't have to do this ever again. Ever. So we get to our motel. We survived Uber! We did it! We go to bed because we're super tired. And Justin has to get up for that conference super early. So when we wake up in the morning, it turns out we're very close to the bay. The harbor they call it. And I thought, I'm brave enough to go and check that out, I think. So Justin goes to his class, and I get ready to take on the day. He had a little break, so he said, "Wait for me. I'll come explore with you. I have an hour and a half." Yay! So our plan is to walk down to the harbor, take a look around, and find some lunch. And I'm taking pictures of everything. I didn't feel comfortable taking my purse. I should have brought my smaller one, but I didn't. So I just shoved stuff in my pocket. My room key, the few dollars that I had in my pocket, my driver's license, in case I needed it, and my phone. We walk around, and there's ships, Navy ships, and I'm taking pictures. Oh, am I taking pictures. So the time is ticking, and Justin has to get back to class. So we go back to a restaurant, and we have some lunch. The San Diego sun feels wonderful. And when I walked by one of the ships, there was a Navy sailor, and he said, "Free tours." So after lunch, Justin went back to class, and I was going to take that Navy sailor up and go on a free tour. He said, "Right through those doors, and just show him your driver's license. The tour takes about 20 minutes. So I start to get stuff out of my pocket, and no driver's license! I lost it! Where was it? Where was it? Who had my driver's license? Oh, here I was being so brave, and now I felt scared. I called Justin right away because he went back to the motel to catch a bus to go back to class, and I thought maybe I dropped it there. Nope, wasn't there. Nope. So I went back to all the places that we had been. All of them. We walked quite a ways. Nowhere. My driver's license was lost. And how was I going to get home? How was I going to get on an airplane without a driver's license? I walked back to the motel room, up to our room, and crawled into bed. I was so sad. I laid there until I got mad. And then I thought, I need Starbucks. So I checked my handy-dandy smartphone, and Starbucks is about a mile away. I'll walk a mile for Starbucks. On my way to Starbucks, I come across a farmer's market. Like 6 blocks of farmer's market. That made me happy. The more I walked, the better I felt. And finally I came to Starbucks, and a pumpkin spice frappuccino fixes a lot of things. So I get my frappuccino, and I walk back to the motel. I can't really get what happened off my mind, but I do realize that it's out of my hands. I can't control what has happened. And I gotta just move on. So Justin comes back from his conference, and we are going to have supper with some of his friends from South Dakota. So as we're walking around trying to decide where we're going to have supper, we come across this really cute village. It's shopping. Shopping makes me happy, even if my driver's license is lost. So we eat that night at the Cheesecake Factory. They have pretty amazing desserts. Supper was good, but dessert. So I wake up the next morning and I think, I'm going to find that village. This is going to be a better day. I go back down to the pier and I walk. I ask some security guard, do you know where my license is? So she says, here's this number. Call them and see if they found it. Okay, so I call. Nope. They say, you have to call the San Diego Police Department. The San Diego Police Department? Whoa. So I call him up. He answers. Property room, Johnson. And I say, hello, sir. I lost my driver's license. Did you find it? And he says, no, ma'am. We didn't find it. But have a safe flight home. So that was that. It was time to move on. I had shopping to do, and my driver's license was just lost. Move on. So I found my way to the village and came across some really cool sights to see. But can I tell you something? People had told me that there were going to be homeless people, but I had no idea there were going to be that many homeless people. And I'm from the Midwest. We talk to everyone. Everyone. But the homeless people kind of scared me. And nobody would make eye contact with me. Nobody. Well, the homeless people did, but I couldn't make eye contact with them. It was sad. It didn't take me long to figure out that the best way to go was sunglasses on, and then everybody just avoids everybody. That stood true until I got to this one place over by the village where this obvious cracked out lady yelled, "Have a nice walk!" And she waved, "Happy Sunday!" I wanted to give her a hug because she was obviously under the influence of something, but I just smiled and said, "Thank you!" So I did some shopping, and that day I even took that tour of the Navy ship. They told me that I could show them my Social Security card. Thanks for showing me around, sailor. Then the next day I thought, what will I do today? Should I go to the zoo? My feet were hurting because I had walked for miles and miles. And Justin had a break. He said, "Come down to the gas lamp district. We'll have lunch. There's shops down there." Ooh, shops. So I took my very own Uber down there. I'm so brave. Brave! So we walked from the convention center to the gas lamp district. That was, interesting. we had this guy walk up to us who was dressed better than we were and asked for bus fare. Justin happened to be on the phone at the time, and so here comes this man walking towards me. Remember, no eye contact from anyone prior to that lady. And he said, "Do you have money for bus fare?" And I was like, I shook my head and pointed to Justin. I don't know what that means, but he said, "Okay, thank you," and turned around and walked off. The best thing I found at the gas lamp district was a huge candy store. It was amazing. So Justin went back to class, and I was going to call for an Uber, but I thought I might be able to walk from here. I checked my phone, looked at the map, and it turns out I'm close to that village again. Score! So I looked around for a while, and I was tired. It was time for me to walk back to our motel. So I start walking, and I'm going the only way that I know to go. And there's that homeless lady again, my friend who waves. And she is cracked out again. So she says, "Happy Monday!" and waves. And again, I want to give her a hug, but she scares me a little. So I just say, "Thank you!" and walk faster. So now it's our last day, and Justin goes to his conference and has the afternoon off. So we get to tour the city together. I really want to go to Imperial Pier, or at least see the ocean. Justin tells me over and over the bay is the ocean. It's not. It's the bay. So we took the ferry over to Coronado, which wasn't near as scary as I thought it was going to be. I was on water, however. Do you notice the theme of this trip? I'm busting through fears. This trip should be called the Tour of Busting Through Carrie's Fears. Anyway, so we got over to Coronado, had some lunch, and decided that we would go to the ocean. You know, the ocean, I have a healthy fear of that too. It's scary and noisy. It's noisy. But I pull up my pants and I walk towards the water and the waves start rushing at me like they have a job. And I only screamed a little. Just a little. So I like to tell people that I fought the ocean and won. Seems legit. After that, we decided to go back to our motel and take it easy. We had to pack and get ready to get up before Jesus when our flight left the next morning. I knew the flight home was going to be an adventure because I lost my license, and you need one of those to board a plane. It turned out not to be near as bad as I thought. Just a simple pat down. A thorough pat down. It didn't take them long to realize that the only thing I like to terrorize is Justin Meyer. Before I go, are you ready for some really good news? It's really good. I woke up this morning and a deputy sheriff from San Diego sent me a message and said, "Someone turned in my license!" Deputy Lozano, I don't know why you would ever see this madness, but thank you. You made my entire day. That's it. That's my adventure. And, that guy's not my real dad.